So I do not have a clock up and running right now, but I am aware and advised that we are inside 5 minutes to the 5-minute mark. And at the 5-minute mark, that's when the boats can come out on the H1 Unlimited race course. And that is when they will begin what we call the milling period. And that's where they fight for lanes, because it is a fight for lanes format in our H1 Unlimited class. So it's getting close. It's about to happen, race fans. The 2025 115th running of the APBA Gold Cup is about to get underway with some serious heat racing. And there we've got the clock on the screen. We are indeed inside 5 to the 5. We are inside 9 minutes. Inside 9 minutes to the start. I've got Tanner Faust coming over here. He's going to get wired up. And he and I are about to have some fun, because we're going to go 4 times around this 2.5-mile race course with 4 of the fastest boats in the world and our top 4 qualifiers. And you all strapped in over there, Mr. Faust?
I sure am. This is going to be a pretty, I mean, okay, I don't want to build it up too much, you know. Low expectations, the key to happiness. It's a sad but true, but man, I got a feeling this race is going to be pretty insane.
This is Mission Control. The code awaits your command.
Liftoff confirmed.
This isn't any move. It's your third. No, make that 4th. That's why USAA.
It could very well be. These guys are all very, very competitive, and we've been talking about, you know, there's just not that much racing left in the season. We have 3 races here to garner points and crown a national high points champion. And so, but the other side of the coin is, as you and I talked earlier, you cannot win the Gold Cup here in Heat 1A, but you can sure lose it if you make a big mistake and tear up your boat.
Sure. So if we take a look at some of the boats in here, we got J. Michael Kelly here on the screen right now under the umbrella. New engine. Talking about prop issues earlier. This is an opportunity for him. You know, he'd found some fueling issues in the past. They've replaced that carburetor unit from yesterday to today, so he's looking for some more speed than he showed in qualifying and potentially sticking it to his teammate, although there are some team orders to survive.
Yeah, there are some team orders to survive, and J. Michael Kelly, to our fans, will remember that boat got unfortunately upside down here last year at the Columbia Cup on the first heat of the weekend. Also in this heat, we're going to have our U9. Talking about J. Michael Kelly's teammate, that is Corey Peabody. So we're coming up on 2 minutes to the 5-minute mark, and at the 5-minute mark, those boats will depart the pit area and come out. We will get a shot here of our U9 and Corey Peabody.
Now, he has quite the record here. You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, he started driving for Strong Racing. He joined that team in 2020, and since he finished in 7th place, as you're looking at the boat right there, there is the U9 Beacon Plumbing. Corey Peabody, the driver, and you'll get a look here at the young man. And there is Corey, probably one of the most intense guys when he gets behind the wheel. But since 2019, he has never raced and lost on the Columbia River. People out there might be going, well, he didn't win in 2022. No, he did not. But if you remember, he blew his boat over in Madison. He didn't compete that year. So a little bit of an asterisk there. But he has had some great luck here on the Columbia. And both of those boats run for Strong Racing. Now, our other 2 boats, they come from the stables of BWR Racing, that being Bruce Ratchford. Keeping an eye on that clock up there. Things are going to happen very quickly, and then we're going to be out here the race before the race. There is the U-27, the Miss Apollo. Dave Villwalk will drive that one. This is the backup boat, and Dave Villwalk, backup boat or not, it's looked really good out here for the last couple of days. Dave Villwalk is the winningest driver in the history of H1 Unlimited. He's got 10 Gold Cups.
10 Gold Cups, and in the short experience I have with this racing, Dave is never disappointed on the build-up to the start. The race to the start is just, he's a master of that, and he seems like he'll go to no end to get that inside line if that's what he's set up to take.
If that's what he is set up to take. And that's the other thing, too. You set your boat up maybe for one particular line, and then we're fighting for lanes. Maybe you don't get that lane. Then you find yourself in a lane that you're really not geared for, and that doesn't usually work out that well. You're looking at the fourth boat there in our field. It is the U91, the Goodman Real Estate. It is black. It is gold. It is driven by Andrew Tate as we are now inside 5 minutes to the start of our Heat 1A. He's the guy everybody's shooting at, I guess, Tanner. He was a top qualifier. He's our Indiana Governor's Cup champion. Everybody wants to take him down a notch right now.
He absolutely has the target on his back, and he made that even more so apparent when he blew everybody out of the water in qualifying with his average speed. Several miles an hour faster than the next taker. So he's definitely got the top speed and will have his eye on a specific lane. Whether that means the outside lane, we're about to find out.
So our boats are out on the race course at the 4-minute and 10-second mark. You see up the backstretch there, it is Andrew Tate, and he is right alongside Corey Peabody. Expect to see a lot of that this weekend, and it starts right now with our Heat 1A. For those of you who are new to our sport, and Tanner, we went through our start procedure. We went through our start procedure before we got real busy here, and it is all about a clock start. 3 minutes and 43 seconds until the start. You want to have your boat on the start-finish line when that clock strikes 0. But between now and then, these boats are jockeying for position on the race course and what lane they will be. Keep an eye on Corey Peabody here and see if he doesn't make a left-hand turn, but Andrew might block him by going left himself, and there goes Corey. Corey takes the left right there. Great job on the camera work, guys. They picked up on that. Corey cut the course to get to the inside of Andrew Tate. Andrew was to the left of Corey. Corey slowed down, made a legal maneuver, and jumped to the inside lane. Now, way up at the top end of the race course is J. Michael Kelly, but we kind of saw some of this morning. Dave Villwock, there he is on the right-hand side of the screen. He is just barely moving up the backstretch. So his strategy here is to go very, very slow. Now, the next piece of our start procedure here is the boats have to stay behind the start-finish line at 1 minute and 15 seconds. We call that the score-up buoy. You must be behind the start-finish line where our boats are approaching right now at 1 minute and 15 seconds. So look for our boats to cut the course again and get over to the backside. This is very reminiscent of what we had in Guntersville. Very reminiscent of Guntersville when the boats were all jockeying to get their lanes. And when they came off the lower corner, they were going to find Dave Villwock sitting in lane number 1. He is sitting there again.
Thanks, Mike.
See you next month.
So you can get these delivered?
It's literally water.com.
We are at a minute 55. We're at a minute 55. Remember, they have to stay behind the start-finish line at the 1 minute 15 second mark. So everybody's good. Here comes Dave now. Dave is going to accelerate. He's in great shape because we are at 140 before the start. Tanner Faust, I know you can hear me up there at the top end of the race course. Dave Villwock did a very similar maneuver to what we saw in Guntersville. He was just crawling up the backstretch.
Yeah, he's done that move before. It actually worked for him. I mean, it didn't pay off in the long run, but it worked for him to get the inside lane. We'll see if that works out today.
Okay, so now they're coming down 120. They got to be behind the start-finish line at 115. They're going to be legal. This is a legal score-up. This is not the start. And look at J. Michael Kelly. He is way behind the field. Mike is up at the top end of the race course, so I don't know what Mike is doing. I'm not sure if he is having a problem or not, but unfortunately, J. Michael Kelly is not with our leaders as they go down to the bottom end of the race course. That was not the start, but it is Dave Villwock in lane number 1. It's Corey Peabody in lane number 2, and it is Andrew Tate in lane number 3. J. Michael Kelly must go all the way down to the bottom end of the race course. Now, up the backstretch. Our boats can still change lanes if they have a 5-boat length overlap, but that's not going to happen because you can see how close they are. When they get to the entrance pin of turn 2 at the top end, whatever lane they are in at that time, That's the lane they must start in. And our spotters here to my right are telling the other boats that here comes Andrew Tate. He's coming with a lot of speed on the outside. Tate's going to be on the outside, but he's going to have a lot of boat speed. Going to be Villwock in 1, Peabody in 2. Andrew Tate's going to be on the outside. It's time to start the 115th running of the APBA Gold Cup. We are 3, 2, 1. Mark. Andrew Tate's going to break the clock from lane number 3. Then Peabody was across in second place. He is in the middle lane. Villwock is back a couple of boat lengths, and he is on the inside. It is a clean start down to the bottom end of the race course. Who's going to get down there first? It is Peabody. Peabody in lane number 2 is going to have the lead, but I can tell you, Andrew Tate is right with him. Villwock is still in the hunt on the inside. And there's Andrew. Andrew and Corey are side by side up the backstretch. Look at them. It looks like one boat there, but it's really 2. Tanner, this is as good as it gets.
This is absolutely amazing. On the outside, you can see all the boat lifting from Andrew Tate as he's maximizing the speed there, going into the wind, the fastest part of the racetrack, trying to use the speed he had in qualifying. Corey Peabody just won't let it happen.
Oh, and Dave's getting wet up there in the corner. Dave could not hold his line through the corner. He went wet going through the rooster tail of Corey Peabody, but he is still going. The race is out front. We're going to put the first one in the books, and remember, we go 4 times around. Peabody, he's got about 4 boat lengths right now on Andrew Tate. And I'll tell you what, Tanner, Corey Peabody is showing a lot of speed.
He sure is. We didn't think that we had it in that boat, you know, with Andrew showing his qualifying speed. Not sure what's happening to J. Michael Kelly. It's just unfortunate, but he's making his way around. And, of course, we have Dave still in the running after going through both rooster tails.
Yeah, I think you will watch Dave Villwock discretion the better part of hour. He'll take those third-place points, but our race is still out front. Corey Peabody, he's only got about 5, maybe 6 boat lengths on Andrew Tate, and Tate is staying right in that right side rear view mirror. This is a good run down the backstretch, and we are on lap number 2 of 4. They're going to incur and come up upon J. Michael Kelly, but J. Michael Kelly, Tanner, is yielding to him. He's going way to the outside.
Yeah, he sure is, and Andrew Tate is getting a push, really not as wide as I would have thought. I thought Corey might have driven him a little bit wider there, but it looks like super clean racing here so far.
Yeah, it is. It looks really good so far. And right now, it is Corey Peabody, and he is opening up a little bit of water on each turn from Andrew Tate. He's moving out a little bit on him, and at some point, you're going to wonder, where does Andrew Tate say, all right, you got me in this one. Remember what Tanner and I said. You can't win the Gold Cup here, but you could sure lose it. I'll tell you what, Tate closed down in that lower corner. He got a little bit tighter to Corey. He's back within about 6 boat lengths. This one's still not over, Tanner. This is a good one.
No, it sure isn't. He is gaining on the back straightaway. Again, this is into the wind and the fastest part of the course. It's where we've had blowovers and testing. So it's a place that just have to be a little bit careful, but both of them really floating the boat out of the water more than we saw in qualifying even.
Corey Peabody sending a bit of a message here that I've got a lot of boat speed here, and if I get inside of you, you're going to have your hands full trying to get around me. Peabody's going to come down. He's going to pick up a white flag, meaning 1 more to go. Tate doesn't want to let him go. He's going to try and stay in that right side mirror. I don't know if he is going to be able to catch him. I think he's actually closer to him, Tanner, than he was the last time, but I think Corey knows right where he is.
Well, Corey ran him just a little bit wide on the entrance into this downriver part, and this is as close as Tate has been in a while, like you said. But Tate now is stuck in the ripple of the previous lap. That may back him down coming onto the back straightaway.
And you're exactly right, Tanner, and he was stuck in the ripple of that previous lap because Corey ran him right into it. Corey's telling him right where he wants him to drive, and the spotters are telling Corey where to shove Andrew. That's just good driving. But I'll tell you what, here comes Andrew. Andrew is closing at the top end of the race course. He's pulled up to about 4 boat lengths behind Corey Peabody, and this is the final lap. This is for the checkered flag. There's Corey. Where is Andrew? There he is. I think he's going to run out of real estate. I think Corey Peabody has got him. Heat 1A of the 2025 APBA Gold Cup will go to Corey Peabody. Second place will go to Andrew Tate in the Goodman Real Estate. Wow. Our third place boat is entering the corner at the top end of the race course. seconds to the 5. Interesting note, because of this fight for lanes format, some of the times the drivers, they've been accusing the others of spooling up the boats a little early and jumping off the dock a little early to try and get off to the left and maybe get an inside shot on somebody. So a year ago, we came up with a new rule. You have to have a crew member with physical contact to the boat at the 5-minute mark.
So
the boat can be moving, but you got to be touching it.
It is a question that I had. Can you start it and hold it?
No.
Okay, so you literally cannot have it.
You can't sit in neutral. You can spool it up, and once it starts to spool and you engage, it's going. And so you got to kind of time that part. We are inside 5 minutes. I think it's about time for you and I to go for a walk here, Mr. Faust, and let's go get us a front row seat. We will crawl ourselves out there and be ready to go. It's Heat 1B of the 2025 H1 Unlimited APBA Gold Cup on the Columbia River. We're just getting started here with racing. Should be another good one here. Should be a dandy. Only got 3 boats, but they're all evenly matched. And we will have boats on the water. We do have boats on the water. The first boat away from the dock, the U12. That would be the 12. The Graham Trucking is away. You had the camera right there on the U11. The Flavor Pack, Jamie Nielsen, he is away from the dock now. I had to step off to the left there a little bit, do fist bump with my buddy Ben Dowell. He's happy to hear and see his boat away from the dock. Great shot there from the drone, just beautiful there of the U11 Flavor Pack, and we've been talking about it, Tanner, since we got to Guntersville. This character, Jamie Nielsen, does an amazing job of grabbing an inside lane. Let's see how he plays this. He definitely was not in any hurry whatsoever to get out on the race course, and he's trailing everybody going up the back chute.
Yes, he seems widely known as, in the conversations I've had with other teams and crew chiefs and even owners, as somebody who gets the most out of the boat that he's in. And, he's not in one of the high dollar teams that maybe is spending quite as much per boat as some of the other teams, but he's certainly a guy that can maximize the boat that he's in and has the racecraft to get the job done.
A couple of guys going across the start-finish line here that grew up in, well, I shouldn't say grew up, but more recently, and by that I mean over the last 20 years, have done an awful lot of racing in Region 10, which is the Pacific Northwest of APBA. Look at the crowd there in the background up and down the banks here of the Columbia River. Keep an eye on Jamie Nielsen here. I got half a notion he's going to hang a left-hand turn because the other 2 boats going all the way down to the bottom. Jamie wants to take a left, or go ahead and go, Jamie, if you, and there he goes.
Now he's got to stall this off to 1:15 if he's going to hold the inside from this maneuver, right?
You are exactly right. But the key to our longtime race fans here, and they know this one well, the dreaded 80-mile-per-hour rule is off the table. It used to be if you went below 80 miles an hour for a very short period of time, you were DSQ'd. We took that off the table. We know that's going to have some of these guys crawling up the backstretch like Jamie is right now, and that's okay. So great shot there as the drone rides along with Gunnar O'Farrell, and he looks out and looks to the front of him, and he sees the red and black of Jeff Bernard and the U12, the Graham Trucking. So it looks like Jeff will pull up here on the outside of Jamie Nielsen to the top end of the course. Again, looking at the clock, 1:50 till the start. They have to be behind the start-finish line at the 1:15 mark. And honestly, Tanner, it just didn't look like Jeff cared. I think he had to know that Jamie was going to jump across there and get to the inside. I think Jeff just said, fine, go ahead and do it. I think Jeff wants to run this in lane number 2. Now, let's see if he
beat the clock there.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here. 1:15 is the mark. Jeff's getting close.
And he's crossed over.
He's going to be, he did. He jumped to the inside. Now, that's a legal maneuver. Now, the boats do have, great call. He did. He jumped over on Jamie Nielsen. He had to have 5 boat lengths to do that and to do it legally. Now, Jamie could still take it back, but Jamie has to have 5 boat, and he's got him, and he just did. Jamie put his foot in it and rode hard to the lower corner, and he made sure he had 5 boat lengths on Jeff Bernard, and then he moved to the left. Now we're inside 45 seconds. That was an interesting maneuver from where I'm sitting. It was a pretty interesting maneuver from Jeff Bernard's standpoint. He went ahead and grabbed the inside, but didn't protect it like I thought he might have.
Well, no love lost between these two. Certainly both of them are geared and ready and wanting the inside lane, so we'll see how this plays out. Jamie's going to be on the defensive from now to the start. 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, and they established their lane right there, so the lane they are in, that's the lane they have to come down to the start. Oh, and I think they're going to be in good shape because it's about a 9-10 second run off the clock. Bernard might be really good on this one. Could be a good start. We are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, and it's going to be a clean start from where we were sitting, Tanner, and it is Jeff Bernard in lane number 2 that's got the lead, but look at the speed from Gunnar O'Farrell on the outside.
Boy, Gunnar is just flying that boat incredibly high. Jamie a little bit on the inside, slow to spool up out of that last corner, and this is just treacherous as they hit their own rollers from the previous lap.
Boy, I tell you what, Jamie was really tight to the apex buoy, and you see the dividends being paid from that. Look at them, 3 wide off the corner. 1, 2, 3. You're seeing all 3 boats running up the back chute. Jamie is now pulling up alongside Jeff Bernard on the inside, but it is still Gunnar O'Farrell. But now here comes Jamie. He's closing on Gunnar. He's going to pull up alongside. We said this could be great racing. Tanner is another beauty.
Oh, the commitment to turn in between the lanes. Jeff stuck between 2 hallways of water at 150 miles an hour. Just the commitment and almost boat to boat there between Gunnar and Jeff on the way out of that turn.
Here we come to put 1 of 4 in the books, and it's almost a dead heat, but it's still Gunnar O'Farrell by half a boat length as they come across. Gunnar's driving the daylights out of that Spirit of America. He's got the lead, but he's on the far outside, but he's also got a lot of water to work with out there, Tanner.
Boy, Jeff just making sure that Jamie Nielsen on the inside knows that he better hug the inside lane, because Jeff has given him just exactly 1 lane wide coming into turn 1.
Here we come off the corner again and looking from the start-finish line across at the 2 boats that we see, and you're looking right now at the same view I have lower the top of my monitor, but in between those boats is Jeff Bernard and the U12, the Graham Trucking. This is an outstanding race up the backstretch, side-by-side racing. And at the top end of the course, it's still Gunnar. Now you get a look in there at Bernard. Gunnar has found a good line on the outside. Tanner, he tested in an outside lane all week, and it's paying dividends for him.
It sure is. Jeff still has been in that hallway. He's made a little grounds on Gunnar here coming into the final lap, but Jamie now stretched his lead, doing an incredible job staying on the buoys and shortening the course on the inside lane.
He is doing a great job. Gunnar O'Farrell is showing me a lot of boat speed, and look at this. Still 2 more to go. This is lap 3. Remember, we go 4 times around, and you called it perfectly on Jeff Bernard. He's driving in the hallway, and that hallway's getting deep. He's getting caught back there. This is not a good spot for Bernard right now.
Yeah, he's catching spray from Jamie on the inside lane, and he almost looked like he had to back out of it a little bit there in turn 1. And Jamie now has got a little bit of clean air as he's stretching his lead.
Now, what this is going to allow to happen if Gunnar wants it, now Gunnar can move to the left, and he can move closer. I don't know if he's going to close the door on Jeff. I think he's certainly got enough overlap to do that, but the boat seems to be running very, very well on the outside. But it is still Jamie Nielsen, Miss Flavor Pack. Nice line through the top end of the course, and he is, you are right, Tanner, he is opening up water. I'm going to step out here and check, just make sure the white flag flies. 1 to go.
Yeah, Jeff in that red.
Oh!
Boy, big float from Jamie over the start-finish line. I mean, the water just gets rougher and rougher every lap. That's one thing you don't account for, is that the racetrack is just deteriorating as they stay out there. But Jamie doing a great job of still keeping that inside. Unreal how much speed Gunnar is committing to, especially after his last stay on this water turned into tears, unfortunately.
Absolutely. Now be careful, Gunnar. You got second place wrapped up. He's still got his sights on Jamie Nielsen and the Miss Flavor Pack. But I think this one pretty much has got the shouting over. I think he's going to run out of real estate. But I'll tell you what, Gunnar O'Farrell's a gamer up the backstretch. He doesn't want to let him go, Tanner.
No, he does have a higher top speed on that treacherous backstretch right there. Jamie just needs to hold his line on the inside one more time, make his way to the checkered, and Jeff looks like he's understands where his position is and just going to take his 3rd place there in the red boat.
Here comes Jamie Nielsen. He's going to come down and pick up a 1st place finish in our Heat 1B, 400 points in the Miss Flavor Pack. Then the Spirit of America, Gunnar O'Farrell with a great run on that one. It was outstanding. And Jeff Bernard, as you call it, he just got in a tough spot. Once he fell back a little bit in the hallway, he was in deep trouble.
Boy, you watch the vintage. You've watched vintage boats. They give each other so much space, and then you get into the unlimiteds, and the hallway is narrow.
The gloves come
Oh,
off.
he turns in there, and it's like it's like driving through concrete wall. So it's two really incredible races, first and second within a rooster tail both times. Not really being able to call it until basically the last lap. It's awesome stuff. We should do these heats like this more often, where they pair up to the boats that they're closest to in qualifying. It makes for good racing.
I think we have a new advocate for the fan plan right here. So I'm going to ask you something about that. I'm going to lead you down a path here, and I'm not going to give you really a way to go out. Do you know what the average speed of Corey Peabody was in the first heat?
No.
I don't either. Do you know what it was right there for Jamie Nielsen?
No.
I don't either. Do you care?
No.
No, it was side-by-side boat racing. As you could tell, it takes me a couple of minutes to come down. That really gets me charged. I always say just hook a couple of them up and let's go.
I know. I thought you were going to jump in the water there at the end.
It was exciting. That was good. So, H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Racing fans, I hope you like that because I got really good news. Going to be aggressive coming off the dock this time is Dave Villwalk, but now I look in the back of the screen there. Even though they tipped the nose out on the Miss Flavor Pack, Jamie Nielsen has not yet started to spool it up. Let's you and I go over to the front row. We're ready to go racing. It is Heat 2A of the 2025 APBA Gold Cup.
So far in 3 out of 3 heats that I've seen Dave Villwalk run, he has taken the inside lane by nearly stopping on the course on the inside, forcing the hand. Is that something you've seen over, what, the last 60 years of watching him race, or 40 years, I should say?
Well, it's actually really interesting what you bring up because, and I talked about it a little earlier, but I really didn't go into any depth on it. But up until last year, we had this 80-mile-an-hour rule. So you could not drop below 80 miles per hour. And if you did, you got a penalty. Now, I see Dave is away from the dock now. He's coming on the race course, as has Jamie Nielsen. We'll see if Dave wants to play the same game. He is way down at the bottom end of the race course. Meanwhile, our other 2 boats are up at the top end. That's going to be Corey Peabody. That is the boat on the left, and Jeff Bernard, who is driving on the inside lane right now. So with 3 minutes and 20 seconds, we got boats spread all over the race course. We talk about the start procedure, Tanner. These guys can cut the race course if they want. They don't know what lane they're going to race in, and Dave is cruising up the backstretch again.
Now, do they have to cut the race course straight down the middle, or can they cut it anywhere? Obviously, there's safety boats out there. There must be some sort of regulation on where they cut the course.
There are safety zones where they cannot cross. If they do, it is an immediate disqualification. And one of the places you can cut is on the Grand Prix course, and Jeff Bernard just did it. So Bernard cut. Here goes Corey. Corey's going to go. How about Jamie? Now, Jamie's the master at getting the inside lane, but now he's got 3 boats that are ahead of him on the race course. So this will be interesting. 2 minutes and 35 seconds. So everything for the new fan who is watching this start procedure, everything has been legal so far. We're jockeying for position. The next piece to the puzzle, Tanner, as you know, the boats have to stay behind the start-finish line, which is right in front of you and me. They have to be behind that line at the 1 minute and 15 second mark. So our boats crawling up the backstretch, so they've got about a minute to kill, but they don't have to worry about staying above 80 miles an hour.
Jamie Nielsen accepting that lane 4 almost at this point. I mean, it certainly looks like they're going to be able to get underneath that minute 15 with this pace. But Nielsen coming up fast on the outside.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Oh, and Corey's gotten down. Corey's dropped off again. He's had this problem. He had it twice in Madison. He dropped down to ground idle. Now he's got the candle lit, so he's got plenty of time to catch up. But but Corey's going to find himself maybe in an outside lane. So not a good deal for Corey Peabody at that point. At 1:30, they got to stay behind this line at 1:15. Dave Villwock cruised slowly up the backstretch, but he yielded and let Jeff Bernard get inside of him. Now here comes, is this Nielsen? Yes, it is. Nielsen's going to try and make a move. He's got to have 5 boat lengths or a rooster tail, whatever is longer, and this is going to get tight because Jamie wants to move over, but Corey's flying in there, and he ran down there hard. They're getting really tight in there. And I tell you what, Corey Peabody got really, really wet going down the front end of that, and there's going to be some discussion about that. We'll let the officials take care of it. But that was Jamie trying to make a jump and move to an inside lane, and Corey going, no, I'm here, I'm here. That got really close.
Well, this will be interesting. Corey takes the outside at this point, but there'll probably be some sort of protest about that. I mean, it's didn't necessarily go a smooth way, and certainly looked like Nielsen wanted to occupy that same space on the 3rd lane.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, and I'm sure the teams up on top of the tower, they will take a look at that. Meanwhile, we are going to go racing. We'll let them look at that. Our lanes are set. It is Jeff Bernard in lane number 1, and the buoy he goes by right now. That's the lane they have to run in. The lane they are in when they cross the entrance pin to the corner, that's the one they have to bring down to the start-finish line. Peabody's going to be on the far outside. It's Bernard in 1, Villwock in 2, Nielsen in 3. We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Mark looks good to me, and Peabody broke the clock on the outside. Corey's going to run in an outside lane. Looks like Bernard is back and driving in the hallway down there. It is a clean start on the screen. Driving down the hallway in there is Villwock again. Bernard was back on the inside. Corey comes out of the, it's Dave Villwock who comes out of the corner first. It's Villwock. I saw the white boat. I thought it was Corey. And look at Corey right alongside of him. Off the corner, Tanner. Here we go again.
Yeah, I certainly didn't give Nielsen any love back on that one. Pinched a little bit on the inside, but man, it really is neck and neck between Dave Villwock and Corey Peabody. Dave showing that he's here to play with this pace.
Yeah, he sure is. Villwock's got the lane position. Corey's got boat speed, although Dave gobbled him up coming down the backstretch. This is where that inside lane's going to pay some dividends for Dave Villwock. Look at Corey Peabody stay right on his right side sponson. They're going to come down and put one in the book, the first of 4, and they're going to be dead even. It is Villwock. It is Peabody. And it's a boat length for Villwock. Tanner here. This is another really good one.
Now we got all that experience from Dave paying off. You can see how wide he pushed him in the 2nd turn. Now we're back in the 1st turn up next to the bridge. We'll see how wide he pushes Peabody as they go through the roughest water we've seen so far.
Coming off the corner, it's Villwock. He's got a couple of boat lengths there on Peabody, but Corey's right with him. Corey doesn't win, and there's the front end of the U9. Side by side racing here on lap 2 of 4. Remember, we go 4 times around. Villwock and Peabody, they are tied together. That looks like one boat. It is 2 up the backstretch. Now they get to the entrance pin. This is the 2nd of 4 times around. Villwock is on the inside. That's the U27 of Miss Apollo. It's the U9. And Corey Peabody and the Beacon Plumbing on the outside. This looks like a rerun of lap number 1, but it's lap number 2 this time. And they will come down side by side. Villwock, Peabody, and it's Villwock again by 1 boat length. The same lead he had last time.
Yeah, they really are maintaining. You can see in the corner that shorter course on the outside lane gets Dave out ahead, and then at the end of the straightaway, Corey's reeling him in. Both drivers keeping the boat out of the water as much as possible.
Jamie Nielsen driving a Miss Flavor Pack is solid in 3rd place, and then it's back to 4th place, and Jeff Bernard of the Graham Trucking. Here come our 2 boats off the corner once again.
Corey's
side by side. Look at Corey's out by about a boat length now, and it's been about the top. It's been from the halfway mark of the backstretch to the top end that it looks like Dave has been able to gobble him up. I think Corey may have acceleration, but I think Dave may have top end on him. Now they get to the corner, and Dave did not gobble him up this time. Now Corey's going to hold him in tight, but he's got to give him a certain amount of lane space. Corey's going to drive him clean, but he's going to hold him tight. A nice job there by Corey Peabody, and he is now starting to assert himself, Tanner. He had a great corner at the other end.
He sure is. He pinched the exit off on Dave a little bit tighter than David wanted to go, and certainly tighter than Dave has done in the last few laps. And then Corey got the nose up out of the water on the exit of that corner and just accelerated away.
And I think that is some of the wisdom there from our favorite Dave Villwock. I think he said, all right, you got me on that one, and he's going to let him go and take that 2nd place finish. It is 3 of 4. I thought, is this lap 4? It says the final lap, so this must be our 4th lap as the guys go across, and the white flag flies. Yes, so this is lap number 4.
Thanks, Mike.
See you next month.
So you can get these delivered?
It's literally water.com.
Quality water delivered right to your door.
Peabody, what was a side-by-side deck-to-deck duel just a half a lap ago, has now really opened up into a rather large parade, and it's going to be Corey Peabody if he can come down and pick up the checkered flag. But we've got some things to sort out at the end of this one.
We do. The pre-race was a little bit ugly, and you don't know what happened to Dave. I mean, he could have had some sort of problem at the end there.
But in the meantime, a checkered flag flies for Corey Peabody. He's going to come down and pick up his second first-place finish on the day and on the weekend. Here comes Dave Villwock. He will come down and pick up second-place points. A good finish. I'm very, very impressed with that older boat. It runs extremely well. So second place to the Miss Apollo, U-27, Dave Villwock. Here comes the U-11, the Miss Flavor Pack, and Jamie Nielsen. He will come across in a solid third. Jeff Bernard. Jeff was back at the start, and he trailed the field going down into turn 1. But now all eyes are going to turn to the officials, because there was, Tanner, you and I have talked about it. I can only tell you that during the offseason, this was a massive topic of discussion. Overlap rule during the milling period, changing lanes, exactly what we saw here. Jamie Nielsen had clearly been pushed to the outside. He was going to run on the outside, and then he came off the corner up here before the score up. He can't get across there before $1:15, as you pointed out. But he clearly had given it a squirt. He was legal on a squirt, but he was trying to bring a bunch of boat speed down and jump left. And Corey and Dave were in there going, no, because he's got to have, as you pointed out and we talked about, 5 boat lengths or the length of a rooster tail. We've got to be inside 5 minutes because there's nobody touching that boat, and I see Andrew Tate's coming away in the background. So how about you and I as we look at a hot start here from JMK and the U8, the Beacon Electric. He will blow that out and be on the race course. There's a guy who needs some points in this particular heat. Tough getting matched up with Andrew Tate, but he needs points.
He does. Andrew Tate has certainly shown his speed, shown his race pace, and his qualifying pace will be tough to beat. But J. Michael Kelly has all the experience in the world.
He does indeed. J. Michael Kelly has been a master at getting a strategic lane and making it work to his advantage. So we watch J. Michael Kelly and Andrew Tate in this one. They're going to square off against each other. And then we're going to mix Gunnar O'Farrell into this whole thing. Let's give the young man his due. He had a heck of a run in our first heat, or in our second heat today, when he finished in second place. So Gunnar O'Farrell will be in this one. You're looking at him there, the U-21 Spirit of America, the predominantly white boat with the red, white, and blue lettering on it, Spirit of America. There it is. There still has the checkerboard effect, and if that looks familiar to you, Tanner, that's the checkerboard effect they had when we were over here for the test session, and the boat ran as the Lake Ridge Paving, which is the family business over on the west side of the state of Washington. So our start procedure once again, if our new fans were with us in the last heat, we kind of walked through it, got a little hairy on the last one. We'll see if this one might be a little cleaner. It is Heat 2B of the 2025 APBA Gold Cup. It's the 115th running. Well, here we got something going on right here. Andrew Tate, I don't know if he wants to move over on Mike. He might be content to just sit there and run in lane 2, but Mike is sitting in a spot right there where there's no way Andrew could move left on J. Michael Kelly. Here comes Gunnar. I would expect Gunnar's going to stick to the outside as he has all through testing. Who went over? Mike did. Mike went over to the backside of the race course. And honestly, at this point, Tanner, I don't think Andrew's concerned about it.
USA's Safe Pilot rewards safe
Pace over this, and you know, J. Michael Kelly would have known that too, so he may have
Sure.
committed to the inside lane and said, hey, if I can't beat him down the straightaway, I'm going to shorten the course, gear for the slower exit on the inside, and that's going to be my best bet, is to racecraft him out of it. I just love how cerebral this whole process is. You know, they need to know exactly how many minutes and seconds there are before they can cut the corner. They can't come to a complete stop, as we've seen. They generally stall the compressor, but there's just so much going on in this pre-race as we click into 2 minutes.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. Legally, yes, they could shut it off. But to your point, that stalls the compressor and you go all the way down, and then you may spend the next minute trying to wind it back up. So a minute 45 on a clock. They have to stay behind the start-finish line until 1:15. One piece we haven't touched on is what would happen if somebody jumped across the score-up buoy before 1:15. They will be radioed by the officials to slow down, drop back, and move to the outside.
Okay, so you guarantee the outside lane if you
Yep.
cross before 1:15 as we come down to 1:22. And they hustle it on up, getting those rooster tails up, and they're all clearly going to make it.
Yeah, and I think that there's 1:15 right there. I think what you're seeing here for the starting grid, this is the way they're going to run. I wouldn't expect anything's going to change. I think Andrew is comfortable in lane 2. I think Mike feels that if he's going to run with Andrew here, I think he feels he's probably got to get the jump on him and be on the inside of him. So, and Gunnar, I think he's just going to stay out of the way here. I don't think he wants to jump in the middle of that war.
Well, as we saw in some of these replays, if you caught that 2006 replay, I mean, the boats look similar. The footage is not 4K and beautiful, but it sure doesn't take much to get enough air underneath these things to blow them over.
No, it does not. The whole idea is it's an extremely delicate balance. So inside 30 seconds here, Kelly's going to be in 1. Tate's going to run in 2. Gunnar O'Farrell on the far outside. It's Beacon Electric. Here comes Andrew up between boats. Andrew Tate in the Goodman Real Estate will be in 2. Gunnar O'Farrell, Spirit of America on the outside. J. Michael Kelly going to be in lane number 1. Plenty of lane space. About 9 seconds off the pin. They were there at 9. And we
that's tight.
Yeah, we are inside 5. We are 3, 2, 1. Mark, and I think it's legal, and man, was it good. J. Michael Kelly broke the clock from lane number 1. So we got the good start. It is indeed a clean start, and Andrew is back about 2 or 3 boat lengths as they get to the entrance pin of the corner. Now Kelly's going to get through the turn first. You can see the other 2 boats, Rooster Tails, on the outside. Andrew's back about 4 boat lengths. Kelly got the start he wanted, Tanner, but now he's got his right side rear view mirror full of Goodman Real Estate.
He sure did, and Andrew was hugging that second lane, hugging the first lane pretty tight, and ended up getting some pretty big kicks of water from J. Michael Kelly, which backed him down a little bit, and he's got some work to do.
So Andrew is way back. I thought he was right alongside J. Mike, but Mike's got a bigger lead than I thought. He's going to have to hold it for 4 laps. A good run off the top end of the race course. J. Michael Kelly running like a rocket right now. He's coming down with a full Rooster Tail lead. That surprises me, Tanner, that he's running this well right now.
Yeah, the exit of turn 1 caught Andrew just a little bit, almost to the very exit, kind of mid-corner, but Andrew is reeling him back in. This is going to be tight. He's got a couple laps to get it done, but he needs to stay out of some of this spray. You can see he's taking a little bit wider line and not getting swallowed up by that wake quite as much as he did on the first lap. Now
Remember, J. Michael Kelly is in control of this race course, so when they get up here to the top end, he can push Andrew around a bit, and don't be surprised if you see him take a wider line through the corner. When he's running up here like this with the Rooster Tail lead that he has, Andrew can't see the buoy row. Andrew cannot see the buoys. Mike's going to do his best to hide those buoys from Andrew. And Andrew's still staying in the Rooster Tail, but barely. He's back just about a full Rooster Tail. Kelly comes out to about lane number 3. Andrew's dropping back just a little bit. Here comes J. Michael Kelly. You wait. Beacon Electric. These guys are flying, and Andrew does not want to let him go, Tanner. We're going to run this one all the way to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he knows he's got the boat speed. We talked about it earlier this weekend. When you qualify number 1, you've got the expectation on you, and you don't want to be the driver that doesn't bring the fastest boat home with a win in a heat like this.
Now down to the bottom end. Andrew has definitely made up ground on this one. He's into the Rooster Tail now. He is making up ground coming off the corner, but Kelly knows right where he is. Kelly still out front 5, maybe 6 boat lengths. A great boat race here. Andrew Tate, our top qualifier, trying to run down qualifier number 4. But Kelly's got lane position. He got the jump at the start. And J. Michael Kelly is one of the very best at this. Top end of the race course. This is the 3rd of 4 times around. We may have a whale of lap number 4 here. Kelly about lane number 3. Boy, Andrew's coming. He's coming hard. He's coming all the time. He's going to make up ground, but he's still back about 5 boat lengths. Here we go. Lap number 4.
Final lap. He cut the lead in half.
I dream of you. My love for you is true.
The Bank of America customized cash rewards.
Again, we're going to have a gnarly finish here coming into the final, and Andrew Tate already's reeled him in turn 1.
Woo, boy, he sure did. That was a great front straightaway for Andrew. He's still back about 2 or 3 boat lengths. Can Mike hold him off? This is going to be quite the run. Nobody's in front of him on the race course. Gunnar O'Farrell is gone. It is these two. Let's settle this thing up the backstretch. It is about a 2 boat length lead. Oh, boy. All they're going to do is come off that corner. It's going to be a drag race off the top end. Kelly still got the lead. He's got the lane position. Can he hold on for another few buoys? See if he doesn't push Andrew out a little farther. No, he tightened it up that time.
He's too nice a guy to do that. It probably would have been in his best interest to run him a little bit wide. Now it's a drag race.
Here we come to the finish. It is Kelly. It is Tate. It is J. Michael Kelly. J. Michael Kelly. Oh, and that's by half a boat length or less. I don't know, but I don't think there's much question, Tanner. I think Kelly got him.
Boy, I'm telling you, Andrew's foot is sore from pushing that throttle through the firewall on that last straightaway. But it doesn't get any closer than that, does it?
No, it doesn't get any closer than that. We had some strong racing people hooting and hollering back here. And for those of you who are new to the sport, that's as good as it gets in H1 Unlimited Racing right there. It doesn't get any better than that. And wow, J. Michael Kelly, he did not have boat. Andrew had boat on him. But Mike was just not to be denied.
With the problems that Mike had, you know, you always kind of root for the underdog a little bit. I'm just going to throw that out there. But with the problems that he had earlier, and he had the fuel issue yesterday, and couldn't really compete in the first heat, to have him come out and battle down the fastest guy. You said before the heat, oh man, it's an unfortunate thing for J. Michael, and then he got the lane choice.
We're inside 9 minutes to the start of our Heat 3A. I'm going to say this another dozen times today, so let's get the first one going.
Let's do it.
The oldest. The race course, looking for Jamie Nielsen as we walked over here. I do not see Jamie Nielsen.
He got held up just off the dock there. Looked like he got it refired, but it may have blown out again. So I'd look for him over by the dock. He only got about 30 feet off the dock before it shut the power off.
And look what's going on here. We were just talking about the possibility that Andrew Tate might make a move to get an inside lane. He is sitting on the inside right now, although J. Michael Kelly just went by him. Now you see Andrew give it a little bit of a squirt, because if Mike were to get 5 boat lengths or a rooster tail length, he could move over on Andrew. So Andrew gave it a little bit of a squirt there and said, no, I'm right here. Give me room. And he does, tight there as they got to the entrance pin. And we are still very early in the process here. And I am not seeing Jamie Nielsen. Unfortunately, this is starting to look like he may not answer the bell. The rule is, Tanner, Jamie Nielsen has to be up and running and on a plane at the 1 minute mark to compete. Now we see J. Michael Kelly has said, see you later. He comes down here across start finish line with a head of steam, and now he's going to cut and head over to the backstretch. Andrew decided that was a good idea to let him go. Now, the next part of our start procedure is they have to stay behind the start finish line at 1 minute and 15 seconds. Clearly, Andrew's going to park in lane number 1 and just come down here very slowly. Remember, the 80-mile-an-hour rule is off the table as Mike charges up the backstretch.
Now, I've noticed that it's not just a matter of throwing it in neutral and cruising along, because the boats will stall or blow out at ground idle. We've seen that from Corey Peabody Corey Peabody. We haven't seen it from Andrew Tate, but he seems safe behind the 115 at this point.
Yeah, and you saw he had to bring, but he is sitting in lane number 2. He is sitting in lane 2. He let Corey jump inside of him, and now Corey's going to pull up alongside. I would have thought Andrew, with all of that work, would have said, I'm going to take lane 1. I don't know if he caught Andrew a little bit by surprise. Again, that was the score up, not the start. So right now, Peabody is in 1. Tate is in 2. Kelly is in 3. We're inside 1 minute. That surprised me a little bit, Tanner.
Yeah, J. Michael Kelly had such success on the inside. He just couldn't position himself on the inside on this particular run. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, the 1 minute mark, Jamie Nielsen not on a plane at that point. So
and if
out.
Kelly had ideas of getting a big jump up the backstretch and moving to the left, he's got to have 5 boat lengths, and he can't get Andrew wet. Ooh, the referees are he's got to have 5 boat lengths or a rooster tail length, whichever is longer. I don't know. The refs, I'm sure, will take a look at that, but he definitely got over in front of Andrew. I was just about to say he couldn't do it. Now, here's the downside of it. He's way early. J. Michael Kelly. You watch Andrew Tate. He's going to bring speed. So is Corey. Now they try to get the power on. 1 second mark. And that is very, very close.
I think J. Michael Kelly was early.
He might have been. He flies the right sponson coming down. He's actually got the lead as they're going to go down to the bottom end of the race course. The start is clean.
That must have been within a 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, it's a coat of paint on that one. But Andrew now is way on the outside, running in 3rd place. Corey's going to come off the corner first. You see Corey. You see Mike. There you see Andrew's air scoop. Holy cow, we're 3 wide. Going down the backstretch in our Heat 3A of the 2025 Gold Cup. I've said this a few times, Tanner. You could throw a blanket over those 3 boats.
Yeah, these have proven to be the 3 fastest boats of the weekend, and they're all out for these points that are up for grab here in 3A.
All right, top end of the race course. Corey in 1, Kelly in 2, Andrew in 3. Andrew's trying to drive around the fastest boats we've got here besides himself. He's pulled up alongside Kelly, and he sets his sights on Peabody. But this doesn't get any better. Here we go again, Tanner.
I mean, it's just insane. Now, J. Michael Kelly, if he gets behind Andrew, he's going to be driving through the hallway in this first corner. And he is. He's down in the hallway now. Possibility of getting splashed through there and getting buried. Oh, it's not a good place to be.
No, it's not a good place to be at all. J. Michael Kelly is falling back, and here we go again. Remember, fans, we're going to go 4 times around. Now it is Corey Peabody, and it is Andrew Tate. Mike has dropped off the pace. Yesterday, when these two squared off, it was like this with Corey on the inside, Andrew on the outside, and Andrew was unable to drive around Corey. He's trying it again. I thought he would try and get to the inside of Corey, but he's going to try and do it on the outside again. They're going to come down and put 2 in the book with still 2 more to go. Remember, we go 4 times around. Peabody out in front, the Beacon Plumbing, by about 3 boat lengths.
Boy, Corey really shortened the course on that tight corner, took a really far inside line. Andrew flowing a little bit more speed on a wider line. And on that straightaway, it's paid off. He's almost got it dead even coming into the downside of the track.
Those guys are hitting the bottom end of the race course close to 190, 192 or 3 miles per hour. Now coming off the exit pin, still Corey. But I'm telling you, Andrew is right there. They can reach out the window and talk to each other. Peabody, Tate, up the backstretch and dead even. 1 boat length between the 2. Now Andrew pulls up alongside. Andrew with some boat speed at the top end.
This is the part of the course where he was gaining on Mike yesterday, and he's going through the same game plan here with Corey as they touch. I think they touch going into the upside of the track.
Mighty close. They almost got together again. These guys are swapping a little bit of paint. Tate, Peabody, almost dead even, but Tate now by 1 boat length, and this is the final lap. We'll check and make sure we're looking at a white flag, and indeed we are. This is it, final lap, 4th time around. Who's going to pick it up? J. Michael Kelly comes home in 3rd. Peabody got down to the bottom end of the race course first, but if it was not by more than half a sponson. Andrew drifted out a little bit wide there. That cost him some time, Tanner.
It sure did. I bet he does get the speed on the straightaway from that wider line. But coming into this top side of the course is where he's really fast, Andrew. So he's been super successful coming around the outside. He'll keep it incredibly tight as he tucks in and tries to go for another photo finish.
Yeah, here we go. This is the run for the checkered flag. This time Andrew is back just a little bit. He's back about 2, maybe 2.5 boat lengths. You'll see him pop out. There he is off the top end of the course. And now it's a drag race to the checkered flag. It's Heat 3A of the 2025 APBA Gold Cup. It's Peabody, it's Tate, and it's going to go to Corey Peabody in the U9, the Beacon Plumbing. Andrew Tate in the Goodman Real Estate. I don't know, honestly, if I have ever seen 3 second place finishes where somebody worked that hard for him, and Andrew's got 3 of them, and holy smoke.
Man, he really is able to turn it on in the top turn of the course, which makes for an exciting last straightaway across the start finish. He just wasn't close enough to him closing in on that last one. But again, another buoy down the straightaway, and he might have even had it.
What you want to do is save hundreds with Liberty Mutual Custom.
And we salute Gunnar O'Farrell and Go Fast Turn Left Racing for the red, white, and blue speedster that Gunner's had a good time in this weekend.
He certainly has, and what a great shot from this drone. You know, that drone's good for about 140 miles an hour, so you can see the Gunner's just kind of cruising his way, starting to pull away from the drone now, but it's so cool to see this angle as you can see him kind of turn in. All the drivers describe the fact that if you think about starting the turn, the boat's already turning, and it hooks around that skid fin, and then you basically just hang on for the rest of the corner. But it's awesome to see so close here with the drone.
So Score Up Buoy is the start finish line at 1:15. Gunner, we followed him all the way up the backstretch, and now you see him pull up alongside Dave Villwock in the U27 of Miss Apollo. Again, I say, standing to our right down there is Bruce Ratchford himself, very much instrumental in the goings-on of H1 Unlimited. There's the 1:15 mark, clearly a clean score up because there's the start-finish line right there. And Dave's got the lead again. This is not the start. 1 minute still to go. They will go around the course one more time. They could still change lanes at this time, but a boat would have to have, and that would be Gunner. If he wanted to move to the left, he'd have to have at least 5 boat lengths or a rooster tail length overlap of Dave Villwock. I don't look for anything like that to happen. In fact, he's back about 4 boat lengths now. So I think now it's just about timing marks and bring it to the line with a bunch of speed, Tanner.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, you know, Dave's going to want to keep this one clean. You know, he's gotten kind of lucky in the draw with having a two boat heat, and he's been watching Gunner kind of take the outside. In practice, Gunner was 10 miles an hour slower than Dave. Maybe he wasn't putting in a full speed run, but so Dave must know on data he can be patient, he can be smart, and he can use the boat speed to win.
And I think he used that warm-up period where he just trolled up the backstretch before the score-up buoy. I think he was using that as his own test session. But here we go, inside 5 seconds, coming up at 3, 2, 1, mark. And clearly a clean start, good start for both drivers. Dave Villwock got the jump across the line. We call that breaking the clock. Dave was the first one across. It's a clean start officially. They go down the bottom end of the course, and Dave's already got himself established with about a 5 or 6 boat length lead. I don't think this one's going to be the dogfight we've seen in some of the others, Tanner, but it's still very, very important, and we still got to run it on the water. They got to make all 4 laps.
I mean, you still got to average 155 to 160 miles an hour around this thing and turn in at 195 miles an hour at the end of the straight. So there's still a lot going on, even if it isn't a dogfight between 4 boats.
The youngest driver on the H1 Unlimited circuit squares off against somebody he grew up watching race, and that is the oldest driver we got. He's the master. He is Dave Villwock. It's interesting to watch the line that Villwock's taken around the course. It is a wide one. He went out to about lane 3.5 on that particular upper corner. Now it's clear that Dave has pulled his foot out of it. He's not running very hard. You see the water bouncing off the recovery area of the sponson. When he slows down like that, you see the water starting to splash a little bit further up on the sponson area, which means he's not getting the boat way up out of the water, and there's no reason for him to do, but look what happens when you slow down. You slow down, and Gunnar says, you know, I am right here, and he's going to sit right in that right side rear view mirror. Gunnar making a run at Dave Villwock here on lap number 2 coming off the corner.
Now with Dave taking a slighter, wider line, the next time he comes back there, he will find his own wake if he ends up coming to the inside. And we've seen earlier in this year, Dave get surprised by a wake, go for a flight. In that case, he caught 2 rooster tails and had the most dramatic blowover I've ever seen.
That was quite an event, and I'm sure that one's in the rearview mirror. Happened right about where he is there on the race course now, coming down to put the second of 4 laps in the book. And now you see this time, Dave's got the front of the boat up out of the water, dancing a little bit higher. He's got his foot in it a little bit deeper. Gunner's getting an outstanding boat ride on the outside. He's right on the other side of that rooster tail. He's about 5 boat lengths back. Gunner's not going to go away. He's going to just let Dave know, you make a mistake, I'm right here.
There, Dave finds his wake, just the edge of his wake from the previous lap. But it is interesting, comes in fast and ends up tracking out just a little bit on the exit, and then straightens himself out, almost V's the last 3/4 of the turn to get a long straightaway and a high top speed.
That is a good looking race boat. It is the 3rd winningest hull in H1 Unlimited racing history. It was built in 2007. It's been rebuilt a number of times. It never seems to disappoint. It's a very, very fast hull. It always has been. The boat has a nickname, Sharky, because when they had the Oberto sponsorship, it had shark's teeth on it, and it had an eye right behind the window there on the side of the canopy.
Now, Dave does pick up the right sponson pretty aggressively down the straightaway. What lessons can he be trying to learn, or that he might be able to apply to Heat 4 coming up?
I think he's just seeing, it'll tell him how well he can fly the boat in these conditions. The one thing that's working against him is he's running a heat with only 2 boats, so he's really not going to get the rougher water experience that you're going to see, A, when we put 5 boats out there, and B, when we go 5 times around. It's going to get a lot soupier. But I'm sure they're using this on some level as a test session. Who knows what combination they may have in the boat. They may be running something they never have before. But clearly he wanted to get comfortable on lap number 2 and just kind of cruise around, and Gunnar said, you can't do that. I am right here. This boat does roll. I'm very impressed with Gunnar O'Farrell, the spirit of America, as he goes right underneath our drone shot there. Checkered flag flies for Dave Villwock. It's the U-27 of Miss Apollo. And Bruce Ratsford, you got to be happy, because this is your first victory here on the Columbia River with a boat that you own. First place, Dave Villwock. Second goes to Gunnar O'Farrell in the spirit of America.
Yeah, 2 boats or not, it's the same points for a win. So he collects 400 out of that, which is critical for Dave's championship.
And I believe, if my memory's working, I think Gunnar picked up 2 second-place finishes yesterday, so now he's got 3 of them. So that's 900 points he's got in the bank, so that's a good thing. And, you know, it doesn't make any difference. You're not the one that's down there doing the draw. You just race whatever they put in front of you, and you got to go out and do your job. He's doing his job. And
if I were him, I'd bundle my home and auto and pick up the real victory, savings.
Are you talking about bowling?
No, bundling, Jan. Bundling.
Bundle and save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
so let's take a look at the boats that are going to come in our Heat 4A, and then we're going to take a look at our field now, because, ladies and gentlemen, we are 9 minutes and 18 seconds from the start of the 115th running of the APBA Gold Cup, and we are going to. I don't think you're going to see anybody change lanes at this point, because it's going. There is Gunnar right there. I was wondering if we were going to get him on a screen. Sorry, Gun Dog. We got you, buddy. U-21, the spirit of America. And this guy has just quietly had an outstanding weekend. We're inside 5 minutes. You're getting a good look there at the U-21, spirit of America, Gunnar O'Farrell going to come away from the dock. We got boats on the water. Tanner, you and I need to be out there. Let's go decide this 115th running of the APBA Gold Cup. Boats are on the water. Time to go racing. Let's go.
Well, every start so far has just been strategy tests and tuning to come up with what they can do to get that inside lane right now, or if that's really what they want. Some people just park on the inside. Some people sprint out in front and take the inside lane by force. But none of what's happened so far this weekend matters. All that matters is what they do in the next 3 minutes.
That's exactly right. Now, the one I want to watch coming away from the pit area is Dave Villwock, because Dave has been using the same start strategy every time he's come out, seemingly. He comes out and he just cruises first of all, he comes out late, and he's not out yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 of our 6 on the water. Jamie Nielsen going to come across start-finish line here at about 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Remember, he is the man who's the magic man about getting an inside lane. I'm sure he's got his radio man somewhere here on the shoreline who will be telling him where the other boats are, where Dave Villwock might be. And there you're looking at Dave. He's sitting at the dock. They are not thrashing at all. So this is part of their strategy. This is not a boat that is having trouble getting started. Dave is just sitting there, and we saw him come out late, but not this late. All a part of the strategy. We'll keep an eye on the Apollo as the other boats are out on the race course, and they are cutting back to front on the race course. Looks like they are pushing Dave out now. So he's going to come out just after the 3-minute mark, and he's going to find a lot of boats cruising up the backstretch very, very slowly.
Well, I just love it. I mean, Dave Villwock has forgotten more strategy than most of these guys will ever know. And so it's just awesome to see the old dog pull out tricks that nobody's seen in probably a long time.
So let's talk about where boats are on the race course. Jamie Nielsen sitting in lane number 1. He is up at the top end of the race course. That's the boat you see on the left side of your screen. Behind him, coming up very slowly up the backstretch, is Corey Peabody. That is Peabody. Then the third boat coming up the backstretch, there is his teammate. That is J. Michael Kelly in the U8. He's just off your screen, but he is the third boat we're pulling out there. There you see J. Michael Kelly. And then the fourth boat coming up the backstretch there is Gunnar O'Farrell. Gunnar in the Spirit of America, and now coming out of the pit area and on the race course, the last boat way down there at the bottom end, that is Dave Villwock. 2 minutes and 11 seconds to 10. Here comes Andrew Tate finally away from the dock. He too is coming. He is way back there. He is our trailer boat. He has to start 5 seconds behind the clock. So boats are all over the race course. Quite candidly, we haven't seen a whole lot of maneuvering going on here. Some of what I thought we were going to see, we haven't seen it. Been pretty clean so far, but lanes have not yet been determined. Now it's going to start to get dicey up here at the top end. Jamie's going to have to pick it up here a little bit, because here comes Corey Peabody, and now Jamie, you see him there on the inside. He starts to give it a little bit of gas. Corey's starting to step out a little bit wide, and teammate J. Michael Kelly just dove inside of him. So now Kelly has gotten inside of Corey Peabody. He's sitting in lane 2. This is not the start. This is the score up. They've got to stay behind start finish line at 1:15. That's going to be a little close this time, but they're going to be okay. J. Michael Kelly the first across. This is going to be interesting. Right now, J. Michael Kelly is sitting in lane number 2. Corey is sitting in 3. Villwock is sitting in 4. And coming across the start-finish line right now is Andrew Tate. I don't think you're going to see anybody change lanes at this point, because it's going to be 2. Unless you see J. Michael Kelly. He might make a move. Can he come over? His radio man's going to be telling, and he did. He did. He moved over on Jamie Nielsen. It looked like Jamie Nielsen went across the wake. We'll find out better as they close up to them here, but I think Kelly has put himself in lane number 1. He has indeed. Nielsen is sitting in 2. Then it's Peabody in 3. There goes Gunnar on the far outside up toward the top of the race course, and in lane number 4 will be Dave Villwock. The clock says 20 seconds. Nice move by JMK to get that inside lane, Tanner.
Oh, it sure was. We talked about how critical that was for him. He's comfortable on the inside. As we come down to 12 seconds, they're about 3 seconds early around that corner. This is going to be super tight at the line.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark I don't know if my clock is legal, and if my clock is right, we'll let the start is under review because it looked like maybe we had a couple across. Oh my goodness. And Andrews Tate comes across. Now, first boat to get down to the lower end of the race course, J. Michael Kelly. He broke the clock, but was it early? And I think he's got Corey coming with him. Yeah, that's Corey coming off the corner. So it is J. Michael Kelly on the inside. He's opened up about a half a rooster tail lead, and I believe that is Corey Peabody that's running with him. I'll tell you what, our third place boat right now up the backstretch is Gunnar O'Farrell. He is running in third. Phil Walk is pulling up alongside of him in fourth, and then it's Jamie Nielsen back in fifth on the inside. Kelly took a big hop at the top end, but he got her back down. Kelly taking a tight line. Kelly's driving the daylights out of it, Tanner. He's getting a rough ride, but he's really pushing.
He sure is. The water's rougher than he's seen so far, but he is absolutely, he sees that he's got clean water in front of him and absolutely foot to the floor as his teammate tries to redo what he did in the third, which is kind of move on past him. But I got to be honest with you, I feel like 3 or 4 boats might have been early. We could have Gunnar in the lead at this point.
We really could, and I don't know how accurate our clock is. We have been off before, but usually we are dead on. So we will just wait until we hear from the officials. We are on lap 2 of 5. J. Michael Kelly up the backstretch now. He's got almost a full rooster tail on Corey Peabody, and this is kind of shocking me because JMK is showing some real speed. We heard talk of a brand new special motor for the weekend. Is that what he's running out there? If it is, it's working.
Well, I don't know. He's coming into that section where he got bucked before. Smoother water this time around. Corey's really got to, he does take a little bit of flight there on the exit. Corey's got to really start getting his exits out of these corners to maximize the straightaway speed. Meanwhile, there's a race for third back there still as we have Nielsen battling it out with Super Dave, and the Goodman Real Estate still trailing back.
This is Mission Control. The code awaits your command.
Liftoff confirmed.
Today we're cooking one of our more popular recipes.
It is the 2 strong boats, and they have really opened up water on the field. They are way down, but again, our start is under review. That's right there in big block letters. And now Corey Peabody has pulled up. He's made some ground up on his teammate, J. Michael Kelly. They are teammates, yes, but they race individually. They are not buddies right now, but Corey is running right with him. The question is going to be the start, but also the question is going to be which one of these two. Peabody closing on his buddy JMK up the backstretch. There you get a look at both boats from the drone. Corey really closing on him now. This is going to be a good run down the front straightaway. They are on lap 3 of 5. There's J. Michael at the top end. There comes Corey right with him. Tanner, this is going to be a good run down to complete lap number 3.
Oh, incredibly tight match as Corey gains on him. He gained at least 3 boat lengths in that last lap, and he's gaining on him down this back straightaway. If he does that again in lap 4, it's going to be really close on the start-finish line.
J. Michael Kelly really is flying the boat. The boat is way out of the water.
Coming into the top of the track, you can see the wake is just bigger than it has been before as Corey's dealing with that wake a lot better. But Corey makes the pass on the back straightaway, builds that speed. J. Michael Kelly, of course, will have that inside lane going into the top of the course.
Good job, Tanner, up the backstretch. About a 3-boat length lead for Corey Peabody. Again, the big question, is it legal? There is question about that. The start remains under review. Our officials are up above us on the right, and they are going to be looking at the film. They will get it to us as soon as they possibly can. Now it's Corey off the top. He's going to come down. We'll see what kind of a flag he gets. He should get a white flag this time. Should be the white flag. It flies. Even if they jump the gun, it would still be a white flag because it's a 1-minute penalty, not a 1-lap penalty. Kelly hanging right with him now. Tanner doesn't want to let him go.
He sure is. I mean, he's just one skip away. J. Michael Kelly's just one skip away in the water from regaining the lead here. You know, we could pressure his teammate here on the inside, but very respectful between these two. But man, we've got Super Dave sticking it to Nielsen actually with almost a full rooster lead in for third.
Coming off the bottom end of the race course on the 5th and final time around, Corey Peabody now has opened up almost a full rooster tail on teammate J. Michael Kelly, but the question still remains, was the start legal? It appeared as though we had some jumpers. It appears as though some of the boats may have been a little anxious, but we're going to call them the way they are on the water, and the way they are on the water right now is Strong Racing running 1-2, and Corey Peabody is going to come down and apparently collect a victory, at least on the water, in the APBA Gold Cup for 2025. Peabody across first, then it's J. Michael Kelly in second, and we've got a whale of a race coming for third. Up at the top end of the race course, Jamie Nielsen is driving the daylights out of the U11, the Flavor Pack. He is on the inside trying to run down Dave Villwalk, but Dave Villwalk is going to come home in third place in the Miss Apollo, the U27. He comes across the start-finish line. Jamie Nielsen with a great run in our final heat, and our fifth boat across the line, Andrew Tate. He was able to pull up on Gunner and get past him. Gunner will come home in sixth, but hold everything, because we are awaiting to hear what the situation was with the start. We knew the start was close. We knew the start was under review.
I'll be honest, at the beginning there, it looked like that entire front row was over except Gunner. And if that was the case, Andrew Tate's spotter would have been telling him, look, just in case you need to get by Gunner, because he was settled back until 2 laps to go, and then he pushed to get by Gunner, and he did it before the start-finish line, because those may be top finishing positions there right at the back of the field.
Well, you are exactly right. As we said before we came out here, anything can happen. J. Michael Kelly made another loop, and he came back here from, if our clock was right, it looked to me like JMK and I don't know who else.
Well,
like you said, it looked like a bunch.
It looked like the first 3 or 4, but you know, where we're sitting, we're just slightly off angle of the start-finish line, but we're getting indications that at least 3 boats have jumped. 3 boats, 8, 9, and 21. That's unofficial. We'll wait for Brad. He's obviously the official voice, but that changes things up.
Yeah, apparently we are told officially the U8, the Beacon Electric, the U9, the Beacon Plumbing, and the 21, the Spirit of America with Gunnar O'Farrell, all jumped the clock.